Welcome to the check-in, folks. Kanye West is the 2018 recipient of the Coon of the Year. And we're sponsored by Popeyes, nigga. We're sponsored by Popeyes, nigga. Today, we're gonna walk down, we're gonna explain why Kanye West is the Coon of the Year. There's a lot of contributing factors that got him here. I mean, we got him at TMZ saying that slavery was nothing more but a choice. We got him at the Oval Office speaking with Donald Trump, saying that the MAGA hat gave this nigga supernatural powers that could make him fly. He was cooning all year, man. He was cooning all year. And it's time to call out the coon. It's time to reward the coon. It's time to reward the coon. You know what it's time to reward the coon with? It's time to reward the coon with butter biscuits. Butter biscuits. We gotta reward the coon with butter biscuits. So we're gonna play some clips. We're gonna talk about some things. I'm gonna get to it. But Kanye West is the coon. He cooned all year. I would even go as far as to say Kanye West cooned harder than Jerry Rice did last year. Who last year I gave Jerry Rice the coon of the year last year. I mean, he was up there, shucking and jiving for butter biscuits and wearing football football masses with chickens on it. But it's shine time for Kanye. It's shine time for this nigga. So let me get to my first clip. Here we have Kanye West at the TMZ offices. Let me get to that first clip. Kanye West at the TMZ offices.
When you hear about slavery for 400 years, that sounds like a choice.
So, what you're saying is, this guy's a coon. What you're saying is, the rape, the torture, the castration, the lashes on the back, being held in captivity for over 400 years, the breaking up of the home, white men taking a black man's wife and taking the woman upstairs and having his way with her. All of that was a choice. Working for 23 hours a day. That was a choice. The beating and the castration and the lynching. That was a choice. Your ancestors included Kanye. That was a choice. All of that was a choice. All of those men and women that were on those cargo ships and brought back to America. That was a choice to you. Let's go on.
You was there for 400 years and it's all of y'all? It's like we're mentally in prison. I like the word prison because slavery.
No, my nigga. You're mentally in prison. You're mentally in prison. In your coon, out of touch mind, somehow you think that you've conjured up some new thought and some new idea that black people they're still enslaved because we're still talking about slavery, years later. Listen, bro. Let me understand. Let me try to teach you guys some things. A lot of people profit. Other communities profit off of their pain and their misery. Would you tell a Jewish person that, forget about the Holocaust? Forget about that. That doesn't matter. The Jewish people would come after you with hellfire if they told you they need to get over the Holocaust. Get over the Holocaust. It was decades ago. Get over it. They would come after you. And respectfully, Jewish people profit from their misery and their pain. They profit off of their misery and their pain. And they never want the world to forget what happened to them down there in Germany when Adolf Hitler killed millions of Jews. They never wanted people to forget. But here you are, a black man, telling people that look up to you, and not only people that look up to you, but the white people that look at you and follow you and that are influenced by you, you're telling them that black people need to get over they need to get over slavery. 400 years of slavery, 400 years of being lynched and killed and raped and castrated and lynched and murdered in cold blood. Get over it. Get over it. Cooning at such a high level. He's at level 9,000 of cooning. Let's be real. He's at level 9,000 of cooning. And guess what? He deserves another butter biscuit. Let's proceed.
Goes too direct to the idea of blacks. It's like slavery, Holocaust Jews, slavery is blacks. So prison.
But you would never tell a Jewish man, Kanye, you would never tell a Jewish man, get over the Holocaust. Get over your pain and suffering. Get over what your grandfathers and your forefathers went through. Get over that. You would never tell a Jewish man that. You would never tell a Jewish woman that. Because you know the communities will come after you with hellfire. They will crucify you for even having the notion in your black mind and in using your black mouth to spew out such ignorance. They would come after you. But here you are, disrespecting and telling black people that they need to get over their pain and suffering. Let's proceed.
It's something that unites us as one race, blacks and whites being one race.
That's never been America. America is built off of racism. America is built off of racism. America, white people came over here to this land. They killed the native Indians. That was racism. They went to another country. They gathered up black people that look like me and Kanye. They had them work for over centuries. They did the transatlantic slave trade. They had them over. They had them everywhere. Plenty slave ports in Jamaica and Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and they put them to work. That's racism. They felt that the black people were inferior. They didn't want them to read or write. They didn't feel like they were capable of reading and writing. So you having this notion in your idea that, oh, we're all one race, that's not the common idea of America. The common idea of America is built off of racism. America is built off of racism. America wasn't built for people that look like me and you, Kanye. America was built for the white man. America was built for the white woman. America was built for them. It wasn't built for us. That's where you're lacking. You know, you think you have this new, high tech idea, this next gen idea, this next futuristic idea, but you're out of touch. You've been hanging around with 50-year-old white women and your airhead wife, and you're so out of touch. You're so out of touch of what's going on in your neighborhood, where you come from. You're so out of touch of what's going on in the black community. You're just out of touch. Let's proceed.
That we're one. We're the human race. Do you feel that I'm feeling?
No, we don't feel what you're feeling. We don't feel you. We haven't been feeling you for years now, because you've been spewing and talking nonsense Pure and utter nonsense. Pure and utter nonsense. Let's continue.
Do you feel that I'm being free and I'm thinking free?
You're not thinking free. You're not thinking free. You're spewing out ignorance and nonsense and coonery. You've been cooning for since January. You've been cooning. You've been tap dancing. The white man been giving you buttermilk biscuits. You've been taking pictures with Trump. You've been kissing his ass. You've been shining up his shoes and kissing his feet. You've been playing catch with the nigga. Listen, man, Kanye, you're a coon. You've been cooning. You're not thinking free. You're a coon. Cooning at the 8th degree. Now we're gonna go to another video. The next video, I believe this next video is him at the White House. We're going to play this audio.
There's infinite amounts of universe and there's alternate universe. So it's very important for me.
Do you hear this nigga at the beginning of this video already? There's multiple universes and there's multiple. Listen, nigga, this is not Marvel. This is not DC Comics. We don't deal in the multiverse. Let's deal with reality. Let's deal with what's going on this earth and on this planet and what's going on in America. You're talking in space. Nobody knows what you're talking about. You're sitting up there, you're cooning with a Make America Great Again hat on. You look crazy, my nigga. Let's go.
To get Hoover out because in an alternate universe, I am him.
You're not Hoover. You're not. First of all, he was speaking about Edgar Hoover, former FBI director. This man killed. Oh, no, he wasn't talking about Hoover. He wasn't talking about Edgar Hoover. He was talking about Larry Hoover. Okay. Excuse that's my fault. Let's continue.
And I have to go and get him free because he was doing positive inside of Chicago, just like how I'm moving back to Chicago.
He was doing positive work. He was doing positive things. Okay, this part, I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at him speaking up for Larry Hoover. I'm not mad at him for, speaking up and, speaking for another man and petitioning for him to get a second chance. I'm not mad at that. So we're gonna keep playing this audio, but I'm not mad at this.
But it's not just about
so far I'm not mad at this.
Getting on stage and being an entertainer and having a monolithic voice that's forced to be a specific party. People expect that if you're black, you have to be Democrat.
First of all, let me stop you right there, my nigga. First of all, let me say this. Just because you're black, you don't have to be Democrat. But guess what? Just because you're black, you don't have to be Republican. You can be an independent. You don't have to subscribe to the Democratic, policies or the Republican policies. Black people should be independent. If you subscribe to the Democrats and what they're pushing and their agendas, then by all means support them. But if you don't and you subscribe to Republican policies, you should subscribe to them. Or you could be like me, an independent. I like things that are conservative. I like things that are liberal. So I'm in the middle. I'm conservative on, marijuana. I'm conservative on the border. But I'm liberal in other things. That's a mistake. I'm sorry. I'm liberal. I'm liberal about weed. I'm liberal about education. But I'm conservative about the border. I'm conservative about crime. I'm conservative about murder. I'm conservative about rape. I'm conservative in different areas and different agendas. So every politician doesn't match up to what my idea is. So for you to say all black people, all they do is just vote Democrat, vote Democrat. Black people don't vote Democrat. There are, now don't get me wrong, most black people don't make up the 1%, but there are black people that are educated and that are in a higher tax bracket that only vote Republican. So for you to sit up there and the Coon, all black people vote Democrat. No, all black people don't vote Democrat. All black people shouldn't vote Democrat. All black people shouldn't vote Republican. Black people should be an independent. We shouldn't subscribe to any political party unless they meet our agenda. We let Barack Obama in the office, and he did nothing for black people. He did nothing. He did something for the gays. Respectfully, he did something for the auto industry. He did something for the 1%. He did something for every people and culture and organization that put him in office. But he set on black people. He didn't do anything for us. So black people should not subscribe to Democrat or Republican. We should be an independent.
I've had conversations that basically said that welfare is the reason why a lot of black people end up being Democrats.
Let me stop you again. Mostly white people make up the welfare system. You know, black people don't make up. It's not like black people make up 50% of America. I got to stop you right there. We're a small percentage in America. White people make up the welfare system. So you're sitting up here giving false information. Let's go.
Say, first of all, it's a limit to amount of jobs. So the fathers lose the jobs and they say, we'll give you more money for having more kids in your home. And then we got rid of the mental health institutes in the 80s and the 90s, and the prison rates just shot up. And now you have Chirac, what people call Chirac, which is actually our murder rate is going down by 20% every year.
When was the last time you visited Chirac? Respectfully, before your interview, when was the last time you visited Chirac? When was the last time you've been in Inglewood? Or, all of the neighborhoods, the neighborhood that Chief Keef's from, Old Block. Or when have you been to these communities? You haven't seen these communities in years. Since the first album, you haven't been to these communities. You haven't been out here speaking and talking and, out here making yourself present like the way your friend is, Chance. When was the last time you've been out to these communities and trying to make a change and trying to do something positive for the communities? You've been totally and completely out for self for the last decade. You've been totally out for self, but now you have some sense of consciousness. Your ideas are so futuristic and so out of this world. Now you want to make a change. Where were you at for a decade? You've been cooning in the fashion industry. You've been cooning in the rap industry. You've been cooning. But now you want to make a change. Now you want to make a voice. Now you want to talk. Now you want to speak. Now you want to do this.
I just talked to the superintendent, met with Michael Sachs, that's Rom's right-hand man. So I think it's the bravery that helps you beat this game called life. They tried to scare me to not wear this hat. My own friends, but this hat.
Because you look crazy in that hat, my nigga. You look crazy in that hat. You're cooning. You're cooning to such a degree, it's not even funny. You look crazy in that hat, my nigga. You look crazy. As a black man in America, for Trump to sit up there and say, oh, I'm a nationalist, and for you to sit up there with that white hat, with that MAGA hat, you look crazy, my nigga.
It gives me power in a way.
You hear this nigga? This nigga said a MAGA hat gave him supernatural powers. Now, if that ain't cooning, I don't know what is. I gotta eat some chicken for that. I gotta eat some chicken. I gotta eat some chicken for that. I wasn't gonna eat no chicken until later on, but I gotta eat some chicken for that. It's sponsored by Popeyes. Just remember that. This man said the MAGA hat gave him supernatural powers. Let's continue. This nigga think he's Superman.
My dad
with a MAGA hat.
And
with a MAGA hat. This nigga think he's Superman. This nigga think he Aquaman with a MAGA hat.
Mom separated, so I didn't have a lot of male energy in my home. And also, I'm married to a family that, you know, not a lot of male energy going on. It's beautiful though, but there's times where, you know, it's something about, you know, I love Hillary, I love everyone, right? But the campaign, I'm with her, just didn't make me feel as a guy that didn't get to see my dad all the time, like a guy that could play catch with his son. It was something about when
This nigga want to play catch with Donald Trump. You want to play catch with Donald Trump on the front lawn of the White House? Is this what this is all about? This is all about you wanting to play catch with Donald Trump on the front lawn of the White House. My nigga, are you serious, my nigga? And from what and respectfully, your dad is still alive. Your dad is still alive and well. You're sitting up here cooning and acting like Donald Trump is a father figure for you. Listen, man, Donald Trump only cares about two things. No, he only cares about two things. That's him. That's himself, his wealth, right? When I say himself, I also mean his wealth. So himself and his family. He doesn't care about nobody else. He doesn't care about your black coon ass sitting up there with a MAGA hat. He'll take the endorsement. Why not? Why not take the endorsement? He's got people getting, being sent to prison. He's got people looking crazy in the White House. People are getting prison sentences left and right. Why not take the endorsement? Election season is coming up. Primaries is coming up. Why not? Why not take this Coon's endorsement? He's going to sit up here and Coon in the White House. Why not? I'll take it.
I put this hat on, it made me feel like Superman. You made a Superman. That was
this nigga. Hold on. This nigga is cooning. Cooning, my nigga. This nigga said the hat made him feel like Superman. Superman, my nigga. A MAGA hat made you feel like Superman. A white man's hat that's saying America was only great when black people was getting lynched. America was only great when we was whipping on their asses and the dogs was biting their asses. We was spraying them with the fire hose and we was beating them in the streets. That's when America was great. And you're sitting up here wanting to play catch with them, saying that a hat gave you supernatural powers. Coon, let's go.
That's my favorite superhero. And you made a Superman cape for me also as a guy that looks up to you, looks up to Rap Lauren, looks up to American industry guys. Non-political, no bullshit. Put the beep on it, however you want to do it, 5 seconds delay, and just goes in and gets it done. Right now, you gave me the heart to go to Adidas, because at Adidas, when I went in 2015, we were a $14 billion company losing.
Here we go, Kanye West, bringing it back to him. Let's talk about his Adidas deal. And first of all, how many black millionaire entrepreneurs with fashion lines, with sneaker lines are there? You mean to tell me a white man, a white nationalist that, Donald Trump is, you're saying that a white man who owns hotels and who's a billionaire, but who primarily owns hotels and is pretty much outright racist, you're telling me that he inspired you to go to Adidas and create shoes? So it wasn't, people like P. Diddy, who had their own fashion line in the hip hop industry. It wasn't people like Jay-Z who did the same. It wasn't people like, the makers of FUBU. It wasn't like people like Russell Simmons. These people didn't inspire you to want to create and want to, do more than just rap. You mean to tell me that Donald Trump was the inspiration for you to make horrible, over expensive shoes? Is Donald Trump the source for? Is he the inspiration for the 350s? Is he the inspiration for the Yeezy Boost? Is he the inspiration? Is that what you're telling me? A 60-year-old man is the inspiration for the Yeezy Boost.
$2 billion a year. Now we have a $38 billion market cap. It's called the Yeezy effect. And I went to Casper. We had a meeting in Chicago. And I said, You have to bring manufacturing onshore, not even shore, into the core. It's not about the borders, the core of Adidas. And Chicago is the core of Middle America. We have to make Middle America strong. So I had the balls, because I had enough balls to put on this hat. I mean, this Adidas thing made me a billionaire. And I could have lost.
You're not a billionaire, though. Respectfully. Not saying that you can't make it to a billionaire. Not saying that, you know, you don't have the assets or whatever. But you're not a billionaire. You're a creative at Adidas. You make shoes. That's it. You're not some, you know, futurist idealist with great ideas that you're just, you know, so great and so. Let's just continue the video.
$200 million walking away from that deal, but even with that, I knew it was more important for me to take the chance of walking away from that deal than to have no fathers in Chicago with no homes. And when we do have prison.
But what are you doing? What are you, Kanye West, what are you doing to make sure we have fathers in Chicago? What are you doing to stop the murder rate in Chicago? What are you, independently, what are you? The man sitting up here with a MAGA hat, the Coon sitting up here with a MAGA hat. What are you independently doing to have fathers and stop murders in Chicago? What are you independently doing? Because you sitting up cooning in the White House in the Oval Office is not keeping fathers in Chicago. It's not bringing down the murder rate in Chicago. You're just cooning.
Reprobation for because it's habilitation, not rehabilitation, because we didn't have the abilities in the first place. We never had anyone that taught us. We didn't teach us. Exactly. We had no one that taught us, right? So it's more important than any specific deal, anything, that we bring jobs into America and that we provide a transition with mental health and the American education curriculum that Jim has worked on. Larry Hoover also has a curriculum that he's worked on. We have Montessori curriculum.
Let me stop this. This nigga's just talking in circles, talking crazy, out of his fucking mind. Let's go to the next video. This next video, let me see if we can get it. Oh shit. This next video, I believe it was the part 2 to his TMZ. This was the part 2 to his TMZ interview.
Now the thing is, he said something. He said, grounded in reality.
This nigga's mad loud already.
This reality has been forced upon us. It is a choice. Just like when I said slavery is a choice. The reality, we can make our own.
The murder and rape and pillaging and castrating and lynching and the captivity, all of that was a choice. All of that was a choice. Your great-great-great-grandmother, your great-great-great-grandfather, they wanted that. They wanted that for themselves. They wanted that for their seeds. They wanted that. This is what Kanye West is pumping.
Reality. We can talk about history, but not too long. We need to talk about our now, because we.
But Jewish people talk about their history. You wouldn't tell a Holocaust survivor to forget about your history, forget about what you went through. You wouldn't tell them that, Kanye West. You wouldn't tell a Holocaust survivor to forget about your pain and your misery and what your forefathers went through. You wouldn't tell them that. But here you are sitting and telling black people to forget about their history. Forget about your pain and suffering. You know, forget about your great-grandfather being lynched and being beaten and having to work his whole life for free labor, treated like a subhuman. Didn't have the ability to read or write. Forget about your great-great-grandmother being raped. White man taking her to his quarters and having his way with her. Doing whatever. Forget about your great-grandmother breastfeeding and taking care of white kids that weren't even her own. And for them to grow up and to still treat her like a subhuman and a nigger. Forget about that. That doesn't matter. Forget about that. We need to move on. Forget about that. This man is a coon, buffoon, over the moon, wearing Sassoons. He cooned all year. All year he cooned. He cooned and he cooned and he cooned till he couldn't coon no more. He cooned. And listen, I got love and respect for Kanye. I mean, I grew up listening to Kanye. But he cooned all year. He couldn't stop. He couldn't stop. He just couldn't stop. He couldn't just say, you know what? I'm cooning too much. I needed to sit down and get myself a butter biscuit and relax. He cooned and cooned and cooned till he couldn't coon no more.
Can fix and start loving each other now. I say we have no enemies. We don't have enemies. Black people have a tendency to focus and march when a white person kills a black person or wears a hat. But when it's 700 kids being killed in Chicago, it's okay.
But what are you doing? What are you independently doing? You're sitting up here and you're chastising black people. Oh, well, when a white person kills a black person, we want to sit up here and march, and we want to sit up here and hold up picket signs, but when a black person does it, First of all, let me stop you right there. There is no greater hate than white on white hate. There is no greater hate than white on white hate. These white people will kill, murder. These white people will sit up and go to a school and shoot up the school, shoot up the movie theaters. So Kanye would like to condition your brain. He would like to condition your brain and make you feel like black on black hate is not an issue, but black on white hate is an issue. And he would like for you to believe that white on white hate doesn't exist. He would like for you to believe that white on white hate doesn't exist. These white people will drop nukes on each other if need be. These white people will drop nukes on each other if need be. So there's no greater hate than white on white hate. And we would love to focus on the hatred amongst ourselves. We love to focus on that. But the truth is, if you go to Africa, other tribes are fighting other tribes. So this whole idea of black people need to stick together, or black people we need to stick together, and we need to do this and that and the third. There's always been black people warring with other black people. You know, just like there's always been white people warring with other white people. But Kanye would like to condition your brain like, it's not a big issue if it's only black on black. It's not a big issue. But there's no greater hate than white on white hate. You don't see black kids running up against schools and shooting up movie theaters. So Kanye, he's kind of conditioned and changed the narrative that black on black crime is not an issue at all. Black on black crime, black people don't care about black on black crime, but when it's black on white, we want to sit up here and raise picket signs, and we want to sit up here and march. Yeah, when an injustice is being done, we want to speak up. Unlike yourself, I mean, you sit up in your Calabasas home in the Hidden Hills, and you coon and you coon and you coon. But when was the last time you went to Chicago? You know, it's been in your hundreds of murders in Chicago. When was the last funeral you went to? When was the last neighborhood you went to talk to the kids? When was the last time you up in Africa giving out free Yeezys? When was the last time you was in Chicago giving out free Yeezys? But you want to sit up here and change the narrative. Change the narrative. Like black on black hate is passe. But what about white on white hate? What about the school shootings? What about people going in movie theaters and shooting up movie theaters? This is white on white hate. This exists also. Are we going to just sweep that underneath the rug? We're not gonna. Let's lay it all. Actually, let's lay it all out on the table, because this black on black hate exists, and white on white hate exists. Continue.
It's okay for blacks to kill blacks, but if it's a white thing,
I don't think anybody's saying that's okay.
That's no, wait.
there's been more focus and
He sounds crazy. He's off his meds. He sounds crazy. He sounds crazy, and I don't want to be disrespectful, because obviously Kanye West, I'm not one of those people that say I don't believe he's not going through anything mental. This man may very well be mentally, going through something. But that doesn't negate his cooning. That doesn't negate the people around you. I mean, he's come out months after this interview. He came out and said, I wish I would have had handlers that could have stopped what I was saying and what I was doing. He just sat up there and cooned and cooned and cooned and cooned. And this man may very well be going through something mentally. And, my prayers and my condolences to him. And, I wish him the best. And I hope that he gets help. And I hope that he's taking his medication. And I hope that he gets better and gets well. But you cooned all year. And you need to be called out for your cooning and your buffooning. You sat up here and you shitted on black people all year. All year you shitted on black people. You told them that their pain, their misery, the things that their forefathers went through, the things that that we've been going through for years, to this day. Shout out to Deontay Wilder, to this day that we go through. You told black people to forget about their pain, forget about their misery. It doesn't matter. Let's move forward. No, Kanye. We're still hurting. We're still in pain. And you cooning and buffooning is not helping. You cooning and buffooning in 2018, going on 2019, is not helping. You've cooned and cooned and cooned and cooned and cooned till you couldn't coon no more. The little engine that couldn't coon no more. And you're the 2018 recipient of the Coon of the Year. You and Jerry Rice are in the Hall of Fame. Jerry Rice is in 2 Hall of Fames now. He's in the Football Hall of Fame and the Coon Hall of Fame. You cooned all year, Kanye, and you gotta get called out. You sit up there with a MAGA hat in the jet with the hat down. I'm a first class coon. You cooned, so you couldn't coon no more. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. This is True and Living. Kanye West, Coon of the Year. Cooned all day. And respectfully, I'm not saying this to belittle the man, to shit on the man. We need to pray for Kanye. We need, because he may very well be going through something mentally. So we need to pray for this man. I still got love for this brother. I still got love for Kanye. I still got love for this brother. I loved his music. I mean, I remember buying College Dropout. I remember buying Late Registration, Graduation. I remember buying these albums, supporting this man, loving his music, loving his work. I was at the Yeezy tour years ago. Not the Yeezy tour, the Yeezus tour. The Yeezus tour years ago. He cooned and cooned and he cooned till he couldn't coon no more. And we need to help this man and get him back on the right path. And that's my take. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It's True Living.